call. For those of you guys who are just chiming in, go ahead and state your name and where you're listening from. Memphis, Tennessee. Welcome to the call. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Who else do we have chiming in? Mississippi, I hear you. Welcome to the call. Thank you so much for joining us on this amazing Monday morning. Who else do we have on the line today?
Dee Dee from Denver.
Denver, I hear you, Dee Dee. Welcome to the call. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you. April from Memphis, Tennessee.
April from Memphis, Tennessee. Welcome to the call. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Diamond Franklin from Georgia.
Diamond, I hear you. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the call. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Who else do we have on the line?
Jacqueline from North Carolina.
Atlanta, I hear you, Hotlanta. Good Monday morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get the Monday morning motivation call started at the top of the hour. If you are just chiming in, go ahead and state your name and where you're calling from. Patricia Coleman from Facebook. I see you. Miss K from YouTube. I see you as well. So yes, we are broadcasting live stream. Go ahead and state your name and where you're calling from.
Pennsylvania.
I hear you, Pennsylvania. Welcome to the call. Donna Brooks Clack from Facebook and Stanja Fleetwood. Welcome to our live stream. Who else do we have dialing in on the call today?
Richard from Nashville, Tennessee.
Richard from Nashville. Welcome to the call. Thank you so much for joining us. And as well, Layla Lucky, thank you for joining us on Facebook as well. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get the call started in just about 30 seconds. So welcome to our Monday morning motivation call. I am fired up and excited. Who else do we have chiming in on the line today?
Joseph from North Carolina.
I hear Joseph from North Carolina. Who else do we have on the line?
Emma Jean Wright from South Carolina.
Emma Jean, welcome to the call. Thank you so much for joining us. Linda Simon from London, welcome to the live stream. I see you, Teddy and Latasha and Crystal, and so many people are chiming in. If you are viewing this on live stream, please do us a favor and go ahead and hit share because somebody needs to hear this morning message. So as you guys are chiming in, let's go ahead and give it one more round. Go ahead and state your name and where you're calling from. All right.
Good morning. My name is Kristen Fox. I'm calling from Memphis, Tennessee.
Memphis, Tennessee. I hear you. Long Island. I hear you. Welcome to the call. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
To mute conference participants, press all participants are muted and they can entry and exit tones are off. To start conference recording, press 1. To return, the recording has started.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, super fired up, super excited to be here today. Happy Monday, happy reset day. I get so fired up and excited, just over an amazing weekend to be able to start Monday. And Monday comes with such an amazing feeling because, Monday allows us to be able to reach over, tap the table and hit the reset button. And what I love so much about that reset button is this. If you didn't accomplish anything that you wanted to last week, last month, or last year, today is a new day. So I am so fired up and excited for this Monday motivation call, for the message that is being delivered today. And what I get excited about on these calls is, one of my best friends and business partners is on the line today with me. And, we decided only a few weeks ago that we wanted to put together a call just like this, to be able to motivate, to be able to inspire, to be able to empower people all over the world just because of our life instances. We know what it's like to go through life and not know which direction to go. So I'm excited that we get to share some of our story, some of our glory, and some of our process. So speaking of process, today's conversation is trusting the process. And I'm super fired up and excited because I get to introduce to you, like I said, not just my best friend and my business partner, but when I tell you this woman is an absolute boss. When we talk about trusting the process, I've watched this woman trust the process over the last 7 years. She is the wife of one, Darren Griffin. She is the mother of 5 phenomenal children. And over these last 7 years of our friendship, I've seen her trust the process in so many ways. I've seen this woman get knocked down, but still get back up. I've heard her say, but yet I rise. And that's what she's been able to do. And in trusting the process, my friends, I've seen her travel all over the globe, motivating, inspiring, and empowering women. She is a domestic violence advocate. She is a home-based business owner. She is a 7-figure earner. And I think, not that I think, I know that she is going to impart some wisdom on you today. What I love so much about her is her understanding her vision, her understanding the process, and not just understanding the process, but she implements her entire process. So my friends, I am excited and fired up to introduce to some and present to others none other than 7-figure earner, motivational speaker, Miss Antonina L. Griffin. So Antonina, are you on the back line with us today?
I am here. Candace, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you loud and clear, Antonina. Take it away. The call is all yours.
Thank you so much. I don't know. I think I lost you on the call. Can you hear me on the call? I know I can see
yes,
you
I can hear you on the call.
Live stream, but I just want to make sure you hear me on the call as well, because once you said something, it left the call, but I hear you on live stream. Can you hear me?
You're good.
Okay. I still don't hear anything on the call. But hello?
The call is kind of choppy. It's kind of choppy on this end.
Is it still choppy? Let me know.
No, you're good.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you so much, Candace, for that awesome and amazing introduction. I'm excited that I get to do life with you, somebody who's determined, somebody who is motivated, and somebody that really inspired and pushed me. So thank you, Candace, for being who you are in my life. Ladies and gentlemen, as she stated, I am Antonina L. Griffin, and this morning I'm going to talk to you briefly about trusting the process. Trusting the process. This is something that, is very, very important to me, because being the woman that I am, with being a single mom, let's go back to when I was a single mom. I remember a time where I was in a situation where this domestic violence was just, it was crazy. So what happened was, that particular night, it was like I was being tortured all night long, y'all. It was just the worst of the worst. And I was like, I'm sick of this. I've had enough. Enough is enough. And what what really made me say, okay, this is the end of it, is while I was going through that particular situation, I looked to my left as I was on the ground, and this particular guy was in my face and just cussing and just, like I said, just doing the most. I looked and I saw my son, my 8-year-old son, balled up in a corner crying. And it reminded me, now my mom passed when I was only 9 years old, but one of the things that I remember about my mom is her dealing with domestic violence, her being a victim. And I remember witnessing men beat on her. And I always used to say I would never, be in a situation like that until I found myself in that situation. So as I saw my son, I realized what he was feeling, right? So that particular night, it was like an old lifetime movie. I grabbed my son, both of my boys, both of my girls. My kids were 8 months, 2 years old, 6 years old, and 8 years old. So this man finally went to sleep. I grabbed my kids. All I could grab was my diaper bag, a bottle, some Pampers, and my EBT, my food stamp card. And I went to one of my girlfriends. Her name was Shay, and she worked at a Drury Inn on High Point Road, now Gate City Boulevard. But I went to her apartment and I said, Shay, if you can just help me, I promise you I'll pay you back. I'm telling you, y'all, this is a true story from the life, like a Lifetime movie. So she put me in the only room that they had, which was the conference type style room. So in this room, it was this large table, and it was one of those Murphy beds that you pull out of the wall, right? So when you need to put the bed back up, you just put it up, and it's a conference room. But if you need somewhere to sleep, you just pull the bed down. So at this time, my kids were in the bed sleep. And I sat at the head of that conference table. And as I was sitting there, I was crying, y'all. I was weeping. And I was like, oh, I cannot continue to go through stuff like this. I got to make a better life for my children. Yes, I grew up in poverty. Yes, I grew up in, in the projects, and my grandmother raised me, and my family is technically poor. So God, I have to change the trajectory of my life. I do not want this to be the end for my children, right? So let me tell you, I was sitting there and I was crying. And this is when I say I will listen to the voice of the Holy Spirit within, because, ladies and gentlemen, I heard God speak to me. And he told me and started showing me the things that I'm going to do in life. Now, he's showing me wealth. He's showing me homes. He's showing me nice cars. He's showing me as an entrepreneur. But I'm sitting here with a food stamp card, 4 kids, single, running from a domestic violence relationship. So what is this going to look like, God? Y'all, I had to trust the process. I had to believe that what he was showing me, I can achieve it. So in the midst of all of this, one of the things that I had to do was I had to believe what he said. I had to look to the future, right? So in my process, I had to learn to put blinders on. I couldn't look at my situation. I couldn't look at what my family was going through. I couldn't look at the fact that I was robbing Peter to pay Paul. I couldn't look at what people was doing on social media, because here they are flossing, living the life. And here I am, this girl with an EBT and a dream. This is a girl with a determination that I'm determined to win. I'm not going to stay this way. What I'm I in does not have to be my END. Let me tell you, trust the process. Process means a series of actions or steps taken in order to achieve a particular end. END, end. So I had to sit in that room, in that hotel room, at that conference table, at the head of the table. You see, I was even intentional, even in my pain. I was intentional. Even when I was uncomfortable, I sat at the head of the table where I belong, right? And I knew what I in was not going to be my END. So I put blinders on and I said, God, I trust you. I want you to order my steps. And see, a lot of times people say, God, order my steps. And he said, I'm trying, but I need you to move your feet. I didn't know to go up 3 steps and then turn left. I just had to trust my process. And after I put the blinders on, I had to believe in me. I always say I will listen to the voice of the Holy Spirit within. That's me believing in me. That's me believing in what he's going to tell me. Now, again, I'm not trying to push my God or my Jesus on anybody. I'm telling you who my higher power is. I'm telling you my story, okay? I'm telling you what I believe and what works for me. So, ladies and gentlemen, I had to believe that I'm going to make 6 and 7 figures, even when I had to go to run to the grocery store and swipe this EBT card to buy some microwavable ravioli. So as I'm swiping this EBT card, it looks like an American Express to me, right? Why? Because I believe in me. And ladies and gentlemen, another thing that I had to do, I don't know if y'all remember this movie called Back to the Future. You see, let me tell you something. I couldn't focus on, my circumstances and situation. I had to think about my future, what God told me that was going to be. I had to believe in that. So every time I got discouraged, I had to go back to the future. which means are the promises, which means the goals, which means the dreams. Every time it looked like I couldn't do it, I went back to the future. Every time somebody told me that I would never make it and I would never amount to nothing, I had to go back to the future. I had to see my children running businesses when they didn't even know, I didn't even know what an entrepreneur truly was. Why? Because I relied on the system. The system took care of me. The system took care of me and these kids for a long time. This is all I knew. This is what my grandma passed down to me. She passed down to me how to apply for food stamps. She passed down to me how to stay in the projects. She passed down to me how to rob Peter to pay Paul. But I had to go back to the promises, what God spoke when I was sitting at the head of that table in the hotel room where somebody gave me, I couldn't even afford to pay for the hotel room. But I made Shay a promise that if you help me, I promise I'm going to make you proud, Shay. You ain't just doing this for your homegirl that's going to run back and not going to make good of her word. But ladies and gentlemen, it was those 4 children that I had to look at, that I was crying. Trust the process. But God, I don't know what this is going to look like. How? The how is not your business. But God, they daddy's not even involved, but that's not any of your business. These are my children. I gifted them to you. Don't worry about all that. You just do what I say do. So ladies and gentlemen, I learned how to put my blinders on and focus on the vision. You said 7 figures, God, bet. You said, I'm going to start a selfie museum, bet. But God, I don't even know what this looked like. Like, I haven't had a brick and mortar business like this before. What am I going to do? He said, okay, well, go to Memphis. Go to Memphis and look at that museum. Go to Atlanta and look at that one. Go to California. Okay, let me book my flight and do this. I'm talking about trusting the process. You see, a lot of times we got to run stuff by people. We got to ask permission to be great. When God says greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. So you are already great. I don't need your permission to be great. I just got to trust my process, believe in me, and know that I'm great. So God, this is what it looks like. Okay, I got this. But what about this janky contractor that I hired? Trust the process. What did you learn from that relationship? What did you learn, Antonina? Don't worry about him taking your money. He didn't take your money. This is a seed that you sowed for you to learn something in this experience. Just trust me. Trust your process. But God, I don't know anything about network marketing. What is this thing? Trust the process. All I need you to do is get the mic and tell your story. Tell your story. I'm going to allow the people to be drawn to you. You're going to attract the people. But God, I'm going to make 7 whole figures. Don't worry about how, baby. Trust your process. But what about when people are quitting? What about when my numbers are down? What about this? I want you to trust the process. Don't worry about what they're doing on social media. But now, God, I'm in a whole nother company. I made $250,000 in my prior company. I'm over here with a whole new team. And they look like they killing it. That's because you don't have your blinders on, baby. Continue to trust the process. Don't worry about what they're doing. You see what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? So when you get that vision, when you get that dream, don't try to figure out how. I need you to understand that stuff will happen, but you got to trust the process. I want you to know that what your I-N does not have to be your E-N-D. I want you to understand that you have to believe in yourself. And every now and then when you get discouraged, when you feel like you want to throw in the towel, when you feel like you want to give up, you know what I want you to do? I want you to get back to the future. You see, you came back to your present and you're living in the past. But your dreams and your goals is in the future, baby. It's up there, it's ahead. Do you see it? Do you see the dream life that you are creating for yourself? But you got to trust the process. When it don't make sense, but I don't have enough money in the bank, trust the process. You never know who's going to come and sow seeds in you. I had no idea how to earn 7 figures in multi-level marketing. Me, a girl with only a high school education, a girl that just talk ghetto and slang sometimes, because I'm not trying to be you. I need to attract the people that talk ghetto and slang. I can't pronounce every verb and adjective like it's supposed to be, baby. I got to say, baby, because I need those people to understand that if God can do it for me, he can do it for you too. And you don't even have to be perfect. You just got to trust your process. But God, I just got this one selfie spot open and you already telling me to put one here, there, and everywhere. I mean, I ain't selling out this one every day yet. Trust the process. Going back to the future. This is what I said. Don't try to figure out how. Just do as I say do. Don't ask for permission to be great. Don't run about other people. You trust your process because your process is different from Candace. Your process is different from Tamika. Your process is different from a Joseph. Your process is different for a Wesley. You got to trust the process that I got you in. Okay? So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to get out the way. Because my bestie on here she's going to wrap this call up. And you're talking about a process. I've seen them scandalize her name. I've seen them just throwing things at her, saying this and saying that. I've heard her weeping on the phone with me because it just what she saw as her end, her future, things weren't adding up because of what people were saying, because of the process that she had to endure. Yeah, she's an amazing wife. She's an amazing mother. She's an amazing friend. But she has endured a process that allows her to make, in just a few short years, $3.5 million in one company? How, girl? Show me, right? She's living a dream. She's living the life that she used to talk to me about. One day, sis, this is going to happen. One day, sis, that's going to happen. She trusted her process. Her process didn't come without pain, but she trusted it. She endured the pain, and now she's living some of the promises. So I'm going to get out the way and bring on none other than my bestie, my friend, my sister, my business partner, Candace Byrd Davis. Are you back on the line, sis?
Absolutely. Can you hear me loud and clear?
I can. Take it away.
Awesome. Well, first and foremost, Antonina, here's one of the biggest things that I got from everything that you said in regards to trusting the process. It's not the IN, it's the END. And it just made me think about, a lot of the times I remember when they used to say, trust him where you can't trace him. And what I love so much about what you displayed and what you were talking about is, you pretty much said it. And it's so true. The process doesn't look good. It may not even feel good. Matter of fact, the process may even be embarrassing. And as I sit here and I think about some of the things or some of the situations where I trusted the process, 50 million things went through my head. I did not understand how many ways and times that I had to trust the process. And one of the first things that came to my mind is I remember only about 7 years ago, 8 roughly. For a lot of people that don't know my story, I was an insurance agent by trade for about 16 years, made almost multiple 6 figures a year. My husband was a coal miner, made well over 140,000 a year. People would think we were living good. But man, when I tell you things went way bad, right before I got into this thing called home-based business, and I want you guys to hear this out, right when I got into the thing called home-based business, right before, do y'all know I went through 2 repossessions and a foreclosure, all within 45 days. Now, this, my friends, is trusting the process, because here's why. Was it embarrassing? Absolutely. See, some of the things you're going to go through in life is going to be embarrassing. But here's what I do know. I didn't realize at that time, with all the embarrassment, with me having to explain to my friends, my family members, that, the BMW got put on a flatbed at 3 a.m. and went down the street. The Cadillac got put on the flatbed at about midnight and went down the street. And then all within 45 days, I got a sheriff knocking at my door telling me I got 30 days to get out. Well, how do you trust the process? How do you work your fingers to the bones, not realizing that you're getting ready to lose everything? My friends, I had to trust the process. I know you see it all over social media where they talk about my setback was a setup for a major comeback. Well, my friends, that is true, because I didn't realize this. I didn't lose those cars. I wasn't about to lose that house. See, what you're going through right now, you're not losing anything, because at the end of the day, what God has for you, Y-O-U, is for you. You didn't lose it. He was making room for what he was about to give you. Because those same 2 cars that went on a flatbed down the road, I thought I lost them. But no, what God gave me is my new Bentley Bentayga. He was just making room for it. See, we think that we lose things, but we don't realize what we're gaining. You have to trust the process, because he's getting rid of something to give you something else. But it gets complicated because we get scared. I think about a time whenever I was listening to a sermon by Mike Todd from Transformation Church, and he was standing on stage and he was talking about how you have a vision for this beautiful birthday cake, right? You want this beautiful cake and you expect God to just deliver us a cake, boom. But we don't realize that there's a process with the cake. So what God does is he delivers us the cake mix. He delivers us the eggs. He delivers us the mixer. But we don't realize that the process is to make that cake. Because at the end of the day, my friends, whether you're on social media or you're on this phone, I want you to understand this. In my 40 years of existence on this earth, I finally came to realize we cannot have the prize, Prize, without a process. I want to take you guys back to 2020. Mid 2020, I was talking about this on the last call. I said right around January 2020, the new year came. And guess what? I was still living in this house that, not this house right now, but a house that I had overgrown. And I was grateful for the house because, it provided a roof. It provided stability for my family. But I knew that I was just uncomfortable in that house. I had outgrown it. The rooms were small. I had no more storage for it. So at the beginning of that year, I started to prepare. See, you have to do preparation for your process too. And we talked about this yesterday. Or last week. So I started to get my house, what I like to call list ready. Long story short, right around June, I started to get the notion. I called Antonina. I said, you know what? I think I want to buy a house. But what I knew was I wasn't really ready for a house, but I wanted a house. So I started to go on this search. Watch this. Don't lose this story here. Started going on a search and I found a house. I'm going to be honest with you. He gave me the vision 6 years ago for the house that I'm in now, but it didn't start that way. When I started the home buying process, I ran into this house that I liked, but I realized now I was just settling for. It was a beautiful rancher built by Paul Schumacher. It had the right square footage. It was sitting on 4 acres of land. It wasn't exactly what I wanted, but I knew it was better than what I had. So we put in the offer for this house. And I put in the offer and we're paying for all the appraisals and the radon inspections and everything. And we're getting cleared to close soon. So they go out to do the appraisal. They call me back and they say, hey, Candace, we have a slight problem. What is the problem, sir? Well, you see, the house that you are trying to buy has appraised for $50,000 less than what it's worth. So my realtor goes back to the selling people and they said, hey, your house isn't worth as much as you're asking. We need you to drop the price. They said, we can't drop the price. We owe too much on it. Well, here, the deal falls through. I'm crushed. I'm not trusting the process. I'm not understanding that what God has for me is for me and there's something bigger and better. See, the no is just a setup for his yes. I was willing to settle for something that wasn't quite what I wanted. See, during our process, we're so quick to settle for something that is not designed for us. So watch this. This was a Saturday that I found out the contract fell through. I called Antonina crying. I was fed up. I was pissed off. I was disturbed. And I said, I'm done. See, we're quick to quit on the process. We're quick to quit on something that we want. But what I didn't realize is God gave me a vision 6 years ago. I just had to trust the process. 6 years ago, there was this home that was being built on Westgate. I remember taking my son to baseball practice every single week, or practice every day and games every week. And we would intentionally, see, Antonina said something about being intentional at the beginning of her call. We were intentional about going through this development so I could see this house. Now, mind you, this house is being built. It's not mine. Somebody owns it. I'm stopping at the stop sign. I'm saying one day I'm going to own a house just like that. One day I'm going to buy that house, was my exact words. Not realizing that fast forward 6 years later, see, I put the vision out there. I wrote it and I spoke it, not realizing what I was doing. But did I trust this process? Because 6 years later, after this house was constructed, my deal fell through on a Saturday for that other home. On Sunday, I get a text message from my realtor, and all it is a picture of the home that I was driving past for 6 years. She said, Candace, it's on the market. See, my friends, if I hadn't trusted the process, if I had given up, I would not be sitting here on the phone today in the same house that I spoke about 6 years ago, my dream home. I went in to look at it. She texted me on Sunday. I looked at it on Monday at 10 a.m. By noon, I had a contract on it in less than 30 days. I had the keys to it. So my friends, you have to write your vision. You have to make it plain. You have to trust the process. But don't just trust the process in life. Trust the process in your business too. I don't care if it's a brick and mortar. I don't care if it's a click and order. See, the thing is trusting the process says, keep your blinders on. I don't care what social media says, because social media will make success look instant, just like instant rice. But you got to trust the process and understand that those people didn't have the prize without the process. You didn't see the 7 or 8 years that Candace hustled, grind, worked hard, cried to get to the point that she could be a 7-figure earner. You didn't see the process of Antonina digging in couches for coins to feed her children. You didn't see the sleepless nights. You didn't see the EBT swiping every single time. You didn't see her buying roast like she talked about with her EBT card, taking it back to get the cash so that she could put gas in her car. And then a lot of people wonder why or how she is now a 7-figure earner, because she trusted the process. Again, you cannot have the prize without the process. And guys, as a constant reminder to myself, now I'm not telling you guys to go get tattooed all over your hands, but I had to remind myself of the goodness of God. I had to go get a tattoo on my wrist. That was Jeremiah 29:11. And it said, for I know the plans that I have for you, plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. As my friend, my 7-figure earner friend, Antonina L. Griffin said, it's time to get back to the future. So today, I hope we were able to motivate, inspire, and encourage you to have a phenomenal week. No matter what it is that you're going through, get back to the future. We're not living in the past. The present is just temporary. But when you get back to the future, amazing things will happen. So guys, as you kick off an amazing week, trust the process and know that what he has for you, what the higher up has for you, what your belief has for you is only for you. If you want to hear about what Antonina and myself has been doing over these last few years to create an additional income online, to work with some motivating, empowering, and inspiring people in the home-based business industry, I encourage you, join us back on this line tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as we're going to share how we were able to take our click and order businesses and buy some brick and mortar establishments. So have a blessed and amazing day, my friends. Thank you so much for joining us on Motivation Monday. We will see you next Monday at 9 a.m. New topic, same time, same line. Have a blessed and amazing day, my friends. Goodbye.